I'm politely begging you to keep the car off for just a little bit longer, because if you drive away now just after something really important has happened and you don't make the video, you will risk making a much more watered down video later rather than capture the immediacy, the raw immediacy, straight after the really important event has just happened. Because let's face it, we're often getting back in our car after something major has happened. And if you wait until you get home to film a video, then you can risk a video being a little bit more of a summary of what's happened, and also risking it being a little bit more performative, maybe just because you might go into YouTube video making mode. Today I'll show you exactly why these unpolished car videos work, and I'll talk about 4 specific life moments that lend themselves really, really well to making this kind of video, and just why making them straight afterwards is a good idea. And remember, you can decide not to publish them afterwards, but also what to say if your mind just goes blank in the moment, because it might. We always fall for the expert trap, don't we, before we hit record. We think that we need to have the perfect answers ready to just wheel out nice and smoothly, a little listicle. I know, because I suffer from this syndrome myself. I'm good for a bit of a listicle. But the reality is that if we're talking about human experiences, people watch YouTube to find out what other human beings are thinking about, how they're feeling, like what are they going to do next. People watch YouTube to see other people feel stuff, because then we don't feel so alone, do we? We always fall for the expert trap, don't we, where we think that we have to have all the answers figured out before we hit record. But the reality is that if we wanted nice, neat, tidy answers straight into coping zone, then we would go to ChatGPT, wouldn't we? And find it all out there, neatly laid out for us, little listicle. I see it every day on YouTube, and I bet you do too, that videos that are raw and they're not overcooked and they're very in the moment and they're very honest are performing the best. The first one is the final badge swipe. You know the one. It's your last day of work, or it's a sudden layoff, or you're leaving that job finally that you just couldn't stomach anymore. But regardless, it's a time that feels a little bit out of your control. Okay, so you're not happy about it. When you get to your car, you might have a box of stuff. I don't know, do people still have stuff, personal stuff at work anymore with all this hot desking and things? That is a good video to make. So make that video, or consider making that video as soon as you get back to your car and before you even start driving, and get straight into the video. I have just handed in all my stuff. I've just given back my swipe card. Wasn't even allowed to keep it, actually. Who wants to keep a swipe card? Both the retiring and you're really stoked about it, or last day of work and it feels pretty shite. The second scenario is the empty seat scenario, where you've just dropped off your kid at university, or you've dropped off loved ones at the airport, or you have dropped your parents off to some aged care facility, or what do they call those, retirement village. Retirement villages actually are much nicer places, aren't they, than aged care facilities. But you know what I mean. Sometimes parents are needing to go to places where they need quite a bit of medical help. So I guess that's what I'm talking about mainly with the aged care. But you're back in the car and the car's empty now because you just dropped the people that you love off, and you're all by yourself, and the feelings just feel like a lot. That's a good video to make if you want to make a video at that time. And remember, you can always choose whether you want to publish it or not later on. That's your choice. The third scenario is what I'm calling the parking lot stare, which is when you've come back from a medical appointment and you've either just received some not so good news, or you know that you're going to be waiting potentially for results of some tests, or you're going to be waiting for more appointments, and it's just a bit of a shock. And of course, as we get older, this type of situation happens more to us, doesn't it, than when we're younger. So that can be a time where you might want to make a video, and obviously, again, up to you whether you end up by sharing it with anyone. Yeah, it's deeply personal, but people are looking these videos up because we're human beings still, aren't we? We're not machines yet. And so we're looking to see how other people are processing these situations. So scenario number 3 is after a medical appointment, or what I'm calling the parking lot stare. Make that video before you move off and go home and feel like you can be a little bit more put together about it, because it sucks. It sucks getting bad news, right? So, yeah, just talk about that. Scenario number 4 is what am I calling it? The key turn. I'm calling it the key turn. And that is where you are locking up a house where you've lived for a significant amount of time, and that's the last time you're going to see that house. You are leaving that property to go and take the key somewhere else, or someone's coming to pick it up from you, whatever. But you will never be living in that house again, and there's lots of happy memories associated with having lived there. And whether it is for happy reasons that you are moving away because you're going on to do something funner and exciting, or whether it's for unfortunate reasons that you're having to leave the property, there are going to be a lot of sad feelings about the fact that this is the last time you're going to see this house, right? And, I'm just even talking about my own house, that this year we're going to be selling it. And while I'm really excited to sell it, because I don't particularly love this house anymore, it's too high maintenance. And I've just done lots and lots of yard work over the years, and I would like something a little bit more low maintenance. However, I know that, it hasn't really hit me yet, but I know that it's going to feel sad leaving this house, because we've brought our 3 kids up here, and our youngest were 1 and 4 years old when we shifted in here. And we've just been here 20 plus years. So, it's just that feeling that you're never going to be there again. And that is a great time to make a video in the car before you leave the property, and just sit in those feelings and just be present in the rush of it all, because it is a rush, isn't it, when you shift, let alone like selling properties or anything like that. But there's just a lot of admin and bizzo. It's a great time if you can just slow yourself down. To be honest, in all 4 of these scenarios, if you can just slow yourself down and just be present to make a quick video, these are good videos to make, whether you decide to publish them or not. Here are 4 things to think about. Should your mind go blank, should you find yourself in a situation like this and you decide that you want to press record and make a video. So, right, 4 questions to ask yourself. Question 1, what just happened? So remember, I said just stick to the cold hard facts. You don't need to go into a really big backstory, particularly not starting the video. You want to get straight into the action. I did hear, who was it? Ed Lawrence was talking about we've got 8 seconds to capture our audience. So just get straight into the guts of it and start talking about, I've just dropped my laptop off. I have just dropped my mum at the airport, or something like that. You can go into a little bit more backstory further in the video, but probably just get straight into the guts of the story first, I would say. The second question to ask yourself, a thing that you can talk about, is what am I actually feeling right now? So if you're angry, you're going to be angry. If you're upset, you're going to be feeling upset. You don't need to mask anything. You don't need to filter anything. Just tell it like it is. And remember Your little security blanket here is the fact that you can edit anything out at the end if you want to. Number three question to ask yourself is, what am I scared of next? You might not know what's going to be happening next. So probably, let's be truthful here. All the time, we don't really know what's going to be happening next, do we? And these challenging emotional times, that can feel even slightly more scary. So if you don't know what's going to be happening next, just say, you don't know what's going to be happening next. If you are, you've been laid off, what are you going to do with your time, the whole climate that we're in, everything? Question number 4. What do I want future me to remember? So if there's anything that occurs to you in the time, it may not, of making the video, what do I want future me to remember, from this time? So there are 4 scenarios in where it can be useful to make a video straight away, just straight up the guts. So I will leave you with that. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, I want to encourage you to watch. I will put Leanne from At Solo Retired Life here, and maybe I might find another video. But take a look at that one and have a look to see why I believe that video blew up for her and just continues to just bring her thousands of views every single week.